Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at the category of Best Actor. Now some of you might be wondering why we're looking at one of the major categories when we've only just started the predictions. And the answer is very simple, because historically the acting categories are always the easiest to predict. Now this year, the Golden Globes, SAG, and Critics' Choice Awards have all singled on the same winners in all four acting categories. Now, three of the categories, there's still the potential of an upset, and we'll wait to see what happens at BAFTA. But in the category of Best Actor, the winner is fairly obvious. The fifth most likely to win is Denzel Washington in Roman J. Israel Esquire. Denzel Washington is the most nominated African American actor in the history of the Academy Awards. That's very impressive. Last year, his performance in the film Fences was very, very well received, and a number of people feel that he should have won for that film. You could make the argument that he will get votes simply by people who want to make it up to him, but the fact is Denzel Washington has 2 Oscars already, and he's not really in a hurry to get a third. It could happen eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen this year, not for this film. The nomination itself was a bit of a surprise, and people don't really seem to gravitate to the film outside of Washington's performance, so I don't think this is going to happen for him. Fourth most likely to win is Daniel Kaluuya in Get Out. Daniel Kaluuya is a newcomer to the awards scene. He's been in a few things before, but his performance in Get Out is really what put him on the map. The movie Get Out as a whole is doing much better than any satirical horror film could have ever dreamed of doing in the past. But it's very well received. It got Best Picture, Best Director. It's definitely contending, but the thing about this movie is it feels like the film that gets nominations but no real wins. We'll see how it does with original screenplay or possibly even picture, but actor seems like a real long shot when it comes to a win. I think for someone like Daniel Kaluuya, the nomination is the win. I just don't think that he has enough support to make it, especially when you consider the genre of the film. Kaluuya is definitely very good in the film, but for someone like him who's such a newcomer, I don't know, it doesn't seem likely. Third most likely to win is Timothée Chalamet in Call Me By Your Name. Now, like Kaluuya, Chalamet is very new on the scene. A lot of people really gravitated towards his performance in Call Me By Your Name, and some people think he should win. I myself admit that I love Chalamet's performance, and of the nominees that I've seen, he is my favorite, but I'm not so sure about him winning. The fact is, he's very young. He's actually the 3rd youngest Best Actor nominee in history, which is big news and almost enough of a win in and of itself. The fact is, Timothée Chalamet already has a bunch of upcoming projects, and the way I see it, he'll be back. He's got a nice career lined out for him. He's gonna do a lot of impressive movies. He's going to be nominated again, and they're gonna have another chance to give him an Oscar, which is not really something you can say about the 2 nominees who are ahead of him. Second most likely to win is Daniel Day-Lewis in Phantom Thread. Now, this movie overperformed big time. It was just expected to get a couple nominations, and it got 6, including Picture, Director, Actor, and Supporting Actress. Now, Daniel Day-Lewis has won 3 of these already. And do we really need to give him a 4th Oscar? Like, the only person alive, well, they're dead now, but the only person who has 4 acting Oscars is Katharine Hepburn. So it feels weird to give this to Daniel Day-Lewis. Then again, this is supposed to be his final performance, and this will be their final chance to give him an Oscar. But I don't know if he's really campaigning for it or anything, and the performance is good, but it's not quite on the same level as Lincoln or There Will Be Blood. So I can't really imagine them giving this performance, especially considering number 1. My predicted winner is Gary Oldman in Darkest Hour. Now, Gary Oldman is a very respected actor. He's been in the industry for quite some time, but he only got his first Oscar nomination 6 years ago for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Before that, he was widely considered to be one of the greatest actors who has never been nominated for an Oscar. Anyway, he was nominated for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, lost, and now he's nominated again for his performance as Winston Churchill. Now, this is a classic Oscar performance. It is a real person and a famous, respected figure. In the film is almost entirely dedicated to him and making his character look good. It's a fine film, but I wouldn't have nominated it for Best Picture. I like what Oldman is doing, especially considering how it's a very transformative performance. Like, if you didn't know that this was Gary Oldman, you might not guess it. And a lot of that is due to the makeup, obviously, more on that tomorrow, but a lot of it is due to Oldman himself. He's definitely a very good actor, and the fact is, if he doesn't win for this one, then he might not have a real chance to win after. Plus, he's already won the Globe and SAG and Critics' Choice Awards. It seems like a fairly obvious ploy to win Best Actor, but it's working, and Gary Oldman is respected enough that people feel he should have an Oscar. So, that's my choice. I think Gary Oldman is definitely going to win. A few votes might go the way of Daniel Day-Lewis or Timothée Chalamet, but this award is totally Gary Oldman's to lose. Tune in tomorrow when I'll be talking about Best Makeup and Hairstyling.